Hi, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing great. In today's video, I am sharing about my kind of meal planning and preparations. These meal prep ideas help to easily plan everyday meal to eat home cooked food, saves money and reduce stress on cooking throughout the week. Usually, I do the vegetable shopping and plan the meal. Some may plan the meal and do the shopping. It totally depends on people. Analyze which method is working for you and plan it accordingly. After shopping, the first thing I do is lay down everything on the countertop so that it will be easy for me to separate or clean them according to which process they need to undergo. Like some vegetables needs chopping and storing, some needs to be washed and stored, some may be kept as it is. To store the coriander leaves, I chop off the roots, clean it and store it in an airtight container with tissue layer. To clean the vegetables, I soak them in water for a couple of minutes and then wash it and dry it on a towel. While doing the preparations, I make sure to keep the chopping board, knives, peeler and a bag or container to collect the vegetable peels so that I don't need to walk back and forth to get the things. I'm using my food processor to chop the vegetables which needs fine chopping. There may be few vegetables, but when fine chopping is required, food processor saves lots of time. Also keep in mind that vegetables lose nutrients and flavor once cut because they are exposed to air. Proper storage of cut vegetables maintains freshness and flavor longer. Also makes them easy to use in recipe. All cut vegetables should be used within 2 to 3 days. I'm storing grated coconut in Ziploc bags in freezer. Coconut can be frozen for around 6 months. Shredded coconut can be stored in the fridge for 2 to 3 days. To store the chickpeas, I soak them in water, drain the water and transfer it to Ziploc and storing it in the freezer. It will last up to 6 months in the freezer. I'm going to freeze peas in the same way. After cleaning, drain the water completely and store it in the freezer. It will stay perfectly fresh in the freezer for a whole year. Roasted soji enhances the taste of the dish. Roast it on low flame. When the soji turns aromatic, add some ghee to add extra taste. When roasted completely, let it cool down and transfer it to airtight container. Pre-roasting of soji extends its shelf life and keeps bugs away and speeds up cooking process. Soaking the ginger in water helps to clean the mud easily. I am using part of ginger to make ginger cubes for ginger tea and remaining for ginger garlic paste and grinding the remaining. Transferring it into silicone mold to freeze it. Once frozen, transfer it into Ziploc to lock its aroma. For the ginger garlic paste, I took around a cup of garlic and 3/4 cup of ginger, adding them into a blender with some turmeric powder and salt. Salt helps to maintain its scoopable consistency even after freezing. For the breakfast, I am preparing vegetable upma and ginger tea. To make ginger tea, I grind and freeze the ginger into cubes so it will be easy to prepare ginger tea. No peeling and crushing is required. Just take a cube and put it in the tea for a perfect ginger chai. To prepare breakfast, adding a teaspoon of oil, mustard seeds, chana dal, urud dal, curry leaves and dried red chilli. Adding some cashews and peanuts and roast it for a minute. Then adding 4 to 5 chopped shallots, peas and some carrots. Saute it for a minute and then add salt. Add required amount of water and bring it to boil. Once the vegetables are cooked, add soji, mix it well with the water. Adding some ghee to give extra taste. Then cover it and turn off the flame and let it sit for a while. After a couple of minutes, give a good mix and breakfast is ready to serve. For lunch, I am preparing ivy curd and beetroot with dal. For the beetroot, into a kadai, adding some oil, mustard seeds, curry leaves, chopped shallots and garlic, beetroot, grated coconut, chili powder, jeera powder and salt. Give a mix, cover and cook for 3 to 4 minutes. For the ivy gourd, adding some oil into a kadai along with mustard seeds and curry leaves. Then adding the vegetable. Give a mix, cover and cook for 3 to 4 minutes. Then adding chili powder and salt. Cook it till it becomes crispy. I already cooked and stored some dal in the fridge, using part of it for lunch and keeping the remaining to make sambar for the dinner. For the dal, heating some oil along with mustard seeds, jeera seeds, curry leaves and chili powder. Then adding the cooked dal and salt. Add required amount of water and bring it to boil. I have some leftover milk, adding some curd with warm milk and allowing it to ferment for some hours. After that, chopped and stored the remaining vegetables which I kept for drying. For the dinner, I made dosa with sambar. For the sambar, into a kadai added mustard seeds, jeera seeds, curry leaves and 2 teaspoons of sambar powder. Then added the cooked dal with some water, turmeric pulp and salt. Then keep it on high flame and let it boil for 2 to 3 minutes. Turn off the flame and add coriander leaves. Simple, easy sambar is ready to serve. The curd is also fermented well. Peel some shallots and garlic and keeping it to dry. I had some choya chunks on my pantry for a long time, so planning to convert into some snacks. After the dinner, cleaned it with hot water and added 2 boiled potatoes, 2 carrots, some green peas, 1 large onion, 2 bread slices, atta, a teaspoon of ginger garlic paste, chili powder, salt, coriander leaves and blended it in the food processor. For the outer layer, coating with breadcrumbs and mixture of all-purpose flour, salt and pepper. I shaped the quarter part into large patties to make sandwich or burger and remaining a small one for the evening snack. I am wrapping them in foil and storing it in freezer. Wrapping in foil helps to take them out without sticking to each other, or when I need one piece, I can take out easily from the wrap. Shallots and garlics are dried well. Keeping them in an airtight container with tissue layer helps them to stay fresh for long. For the next day breakfast, I took a patty from the freezer and made sandwich. I used my toaster to defrost the patty and deep-fried it in the oil. While the bread is toasting, made an omelette with butter and salt. Added some sandwich spread, layered it with egg and fried patty. For the lunch, I am preparing snake heart stir fry, raw banana fry and a simple curry made with curd. For the snake heart stir fry, added some oil into the pot with mustard seeds and curry leaves, chopped 4 to 5 shallots and 2 garlic cloves and snake heart, along with some grated coconut, chili powders, jeera powder, turmeric powder and salt. Mix it well, cover and cook for 3 to 4 minutes. For the raw banana fry, peel and cut the raw banana and marinate it for 10 minutes in chicken 65 masala, ginger garlic paste and salt. Fry it on a tawa till both sides turns crispy. For the curry, adding some salt with the curd and whisk it to remove lumps. For the tempering, heating some oil with mustard seeds, 2 to 3 shallots, curry leaves and red chilli. Roast it on low flame for 2 minutes. Then add turmeric powder. Adding some chopped ginger into the curd along with the tempering. Soaking urad dal and rice to prepare idli dosa batter. For that, soaking 1 cup of urad dal with 2 teaspoons of fenugreek seeds, 2 cups of boiled rice and 2 cups of raw rice. I am also planning to grind mixed dal batter for dosa. For that, adding 1/4 cup of urad dal and raw rice, 1/4 cup of masoor dal, tur dal, moong dal, green gram and soaking them in water for 2 to 3 hours. For today's lunch, preparing broad beans stir fry, beetroot pachadi and chow chow dal. For the beetroot pachadi, add in chopped beetroot, 3 to 4 shallots and 2 garlic cloves, some grated coconut, chili powder, salt and water. Give a mix, cover and cook for 3 to 4 minutes. For chow chow dal, into a pressure cooker, added some tur dal and moong dal along with chopped chow chow, 5 to 6 shallots, 3 to 4 garlic cloves and required amount of water and turmeric powder. Cover and pressure cook for 5 minutes. For the broad beans stir fry, into a kadai, added some oil, mustard seeds, curry leaves, chopped broad beans, 4 to 5 shallots, 2 garlic cloves, some grated coconut, chili powder, turmeric powder, jeera powder and salt. Give a mix, cover and cook for 3 to 4 minutes. The beetroot also cooked well. Let it cool down. Once it is cooled, transfer it into a blender with required amount of water and blend it well. Then transfer it into a bowl and add some crushed ginger and curd. For the tempering, into a teaspoon of oil, adding mustard seeds, curry leaves and red chilli. Add the tempering with the beetroot, cover the bowl and keep it aside for a minute. For the dal, into a teaspoon of oil, adding mustard seeds, jeera seeds, curry leaves, red chilli and adding chow chow dal with some water and salt. Cook till it boils. I'm transferring the remaining dal into a bowl and letting it to cool down completely. Once the dal is completely cooled down, keeping it in the fridge. Urad dal and rice is soaked well, grinding it and storing it in a container. Before storing, giving a good mix with clean hands leads to better fermentation. It needs 8 to 10 hours for proper fermentation. First 2 days I use this batter to make idli, and with remaining batter I prepare dosa. I don't grind dosa batter separately. Grind in the mixed dal with red chilli, jeera seeds and some salt. With this mixed dal dosa batter, dosa can be prepared on the same day. For dinner, I prepared mixed dal dosa with coriander chutney. For coriander chutney, into a teaspoon of oil, added dry red chilli and coriander leaves with a small piece of tamarind and saute it for a minute. Once it is cooled, transferring it into a mixer jar along with some grated coconut, peanuts and sauteed coriander leaves, salt and water. Blend it well. Today's breakfast is idli with chow chow sambar. For soft idlis, bring the water to boil well and then pour the batter into the plates and keep it inside the idli pot. Greasing the plates with oil and pouring the batter into the mold. Cooking it on low flame for 4 to 5 minutes. For the sambar, into a teaspoon of oil, adding mustard seeds, jeera seeds, curry leaves, red chilli, 2 teaspoons of homemade sambar powder. Giving a good mix and adding cooked dal, water, tamarind pulp and salt. Adding a teaspoon of ghee and bring it to boil, switch off the flame and add coriander leaves. using the hot water from the idli pot to sterilize the kitchen scraps. These meal planning ideas worked well for me when I was managing home and full-time job. So thought of sharing with you all. If you like the content, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching and see you on next video.